Hello, this is Tim Law with Playing It Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance U. Please subscribe to the channel Playing It Forward Coaching on YouTube. Very much appreciated. I have a gentleman that I saw on one of the national shows a week ago, reached out to him, and anyway, he graduated from the College of the Ozarks and also known as Hard Work University. And anyway, really looking forward to having him, discuss this a little bit. As you know, my program kind of gears toward, good work ethic, good people skills, going above and beyond, getting a skill. And if you do those things, you're going to do very, very well in this country. So, Matt, welcome, and please share with us your story.
Yeah, Tim, thank you for having me. So my name is Matt Farmer, and yeah, as a graduate of College of the Ozarks, everything you just described, the hard work ethic, demonstrating strong character and values, learning a skill, those are really, really embedded deep into College of the Ozarks, and it earned the nickname Hard Work U from the Wall Street Journal, and it's really stuck since then. They've taken it on as almost a brand name for it. But it's located in Midwest Missouri, Branson area, right in the heart of the Ozarks, and it's fairly unique. There's only 9 other working colleges or work colleges in the United States, particularly College of the Ozarks. You get to graduate debt-free. That happens in a handful of ways. There's low overhead costs. The college doesn't have a lot of debt. There's very generous donors. But I think the thing that really defines the working colleges, in particular College of the Ozarks, is the work requirement. It's not something you can buy out of, but a work requirement from all students to work at least 15 hours a week and do, instead of spring break, you do work weeks for 40 hours a week and also working over the summer. And it's even shows up on your transcript. This is a foundation for the college since the early 1900s when it was founded, that you work for your education. It's for those that do not have the means to acquire education on their own, but found worthy to achieve it. And I went to college in 2008, graduated from high school in 2007, and that really appealed to me. I didn't have much, and my family was definitely free lunches, and we had food on the table, and parents worked full time, but I knew that a working college was my best bet, or the military or something else, because my options were fairly limited. But the character and work ethic and skills that I learned at the college was really set me on a trajectory for success that I don't know if I would have otherwise. So that vocational foundation, the foundation of character, it set me up for now. I have not only a bachelor's in nursing, but also a master's degree in nursing. I'm a leader in our local healthcare organization, and I also own a business. And I didn't learn a lot of that in nursing school, the business part, but I learned work ethic and character. And that has it doesn't matter what industry you're in, those things, those skills, that work ethic, that really can permeate any industry. And with those as a solid foundation, success is really, really comes quite easy and naturally once those are firmly established.
Sure. No, that's a fantastic summary, Matt. I had a question for you, just popped up as you were talking there and everything. Given, the character development, the work ethic, and that type of thing, I would assume that graduates of College of the Ozarks are probably in pretty high demand as far as jobs and career are concerned. Do you have any? And again, I'm throwing something at you. Maybe you're not. Maybe you know this. Maybe you don't. But what kind of feedback have you heard as far as these individuals that come out of the College of the Ozarks, as far as their employment is concerned?
Yeah, the reputation of graduates here in this area cannot be understated. It is very, the graduates here are very highly sought after in all industries. I'll speak from mine. So from the kind of restaurant, coffee shop industry that I am in, with my business, I love hiring CEVO students as part-time workers, because I know that they're going to work hard. They're not going to take shortcuts. They have the hunger and desire to learn, and I can trust them. And that's probably some of the most important things that I like to see in my employees. And then on the healthcare side, nursing graduates, they're just miles ahead of other graduates from other programs. It's not to say I wouldn't hire others, but if I have a list of applicants and one of them is from College of the Ozarks because of the reputation and the foundation they apply, it is an easy decision to make for CEVO grads for hiring nurses for sure.
Yeah, well, that definitely makes sense, Matt, as far as what you're saying. And what I've learned and what I've heard as far as these different companies, as long as somebody comes in with a work ethic, some people skills, ability to go above and beyond, and they have a skill, these companies can actually kind of mold you in the direction that they kind of need you as far as a particular area. If you're willing to learn and you have that work ethic. So, what you're saying, it certainly sounds like the College of the Ozark graduates, come out, quite well. How many different majors are there at the College of the Ozarks, Matt?
Oh, it's a full 4-year liberal arts college. I think whenever I was there was probably 40 or 50 different majors that you could choose.
Mhm.
Bachelor's of Science and Bachelor's of Arts. The biggest areas was education, um, agriculture, music. Some of those ones that they have whole buildings dedicated to them.
Mhm.
But yeah, they have all the different kinds.
Right. And how many students are at the College of the Ozarks at this, pretty much,
Yeah, right about 1,500.
okay. Okay. Now, does
And
that
that's
include grad students and everything, or is this
just
undergraduate?
undergrad,
Just
yeah.
undergrad.
At a and this is fairly common with a lot of the work colleges
Mhm.
throughout the nation. Is they're small. It's a
Okay.
unique perspective and um, workflow for colleges to manage their students as employees,
Mhm.
and so they're typically stay very small and also have operations on campus that are good workstations. So at College of the Ozarks, there's a restaurant, you can milk cows, you do landscaping, there's the cafeteria, there's many, many, many different workstations. The engineering, electric work, plumbing work,
Mhm.
maintenance, all of them need different help. Even security on campus is a workstation.
Right. What about, let's say, and I realize with that work, uh, timing and everything like that, are there other, extracurricular activities that College of the Ozarks offers?
Yes, yeah. The one thing I would say is not present is an overwhelming sports
Mhm.
program. We have basketball. There's also, I believe, volleyball and maybe a couple other um, just smaller end kind of sports. Basketball is the biggest one,
Mhm.
but one notably missing component is football. There is
Mhm.
no football team. There's baseball. There's not even a really big football field, and I think that just really kind of tells the story of what College of the Ozarks is really all about. It's not a sports heavy college. That's helpful and it's good, extracurricular kind of activity. But beyond sports, there's also it's a Christian college, so there's a lot of ministries to be involved in and work and service in the community, which I know is a trend among many of the work colleges as well, is being able to work in the community, invest in it. Um, and as with any college, there's lots of social clubs and special interest clubs that exist on campus.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Now tell us a little bit about your business there.
Yeah, my wife and I own a coffee shop called Vintage Paris. It's located in Branson, Missouri. We're actually about five miles away from the college itself. We haven't moved far, but my wife and I are both graduates of C of O, and we started going to this coffee shop while we were still students, and we started dating, and then we actually got engaged on the courtyard at this coffee shop, and then got married there. My wife was working there as a barista. She was getting her education as a bachelor's of arts in elementary childhood, early education, and as a barista there, and all of our history there. She had this dream to own a coffee shop after she retired because she just loved the atmosphere so much. And then the owners told us that he was going to sell the place, and we kicked around the can and joked that we would buy it. And then we, I kind of took it seriously as her husband. I feel my obligation on top of, providing for her is also helping her fulfill her dreams. And so I said, what if we did look into this? I know I'm going to be a nurse and you got education to be a teacher, but what if this was a thing that we could do? So with that foundation I learned in college, the people skills and the work ethic and the reputation that it has, I walked into a bank, talked to a loan, a business loan officer there. And after he gave me the list of requirements, which I ended up providing for him after about 3 weeks of kind of keeping my head down and doing all the paperwork, he finally said when we sat down and was finishing out the loan, he said, if you would have came to me 20 years ago when I was new in banking and everything was black and white and just numbers, I probably would have said no. But I've recognized with my experience that character matters, that
Mhm.
your degree is something that's important to have. I have no doubt in my mind because of where you're graduating from. Now that I know you, that we're going to lose this money. This is an investment and we're happy to make it. And that
Yeah.
really made a solid milestone in my life of this is not just wordplay. We're not just throwing around terms of character and value and work and all that. It really is a thing. It helps you. It takes a disadvantaged kid like me from a not so good background, and propels me into an environment in which I can succeed. And now, as a business owner, we've owned it since 2011 or since 2012, sorry. And so we're going on 9 years now of owning this coffee shop and it being successful and being a solid place in the community. And now we get to have employees of our own and support 13 different families and their income and do something that I don't think we would have even had the ability to do if it wasn't for not only the opportunity that we got at C of O, but also the foundations that it taught us.
Mhm. Yeah. And now you're also actively involved in your community, Matt. Can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I
You're a busy guy, and yet obviously this work ethic, your people skills, all this stuff is a huge advantage because it allows you to, meet and get along with a wide variety of people. So yeah, tell us about your community involvement, please.
Yeah, that's right. I've always had a strong love for our community and also deeply rooted just internal values of conviction and service to others. And this has come out not only in the business but also in my job with healthcare. And I think through those foundations and constantly doing the right thing, the opportunities opened up for me over the last 3 years to serve on local community boards. So I serve as an advisory director for our local community bank, Branson Bank. And then I serve on two nonprofit organizations, a faith community health clinic in Branson, Missouri, which is a charitable free clinic that serves our community. And then also a organization called Elevate Branson that helps disadvantaged neighbors in our community that help give them strong foundations for work, education, and access to resources so that they can find their full dignity and respect and value and in our community and move out of places like unsheltered housing or sheltered homelessness and into long-term housing and a more well-founded life.
Mhm. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing some wonderful things, and I think I can gather by what you're saying here that we certainly believe, and I'm on the same page as far as encouraging people to become self-reliant. You teach people how to fish using the skills that they have and everything versus just giving away something.
Right.
And so it certainly sounds like, oh, that's the direction that you're going in. Is that fairly accurate?
Yeah, at Elevate Branson, it's we have a program called Elevate Work, and it is a training program for those that are maybe they're struggling with sheltered homelessness and in poverty and stuck in those cycles. And we demonstrate and teach what is work ethic, give them some skills like basic maybe computer training that they wouldn't have had or don't currently have to give them that extra step, but the ownership of attending, being engaged, taking what you learn and actually utilizing it is on them. And I think that's important. It's not like we are disciplining them for some actions they have made. We're encouraging them and empowering them to be self-reliant, because we can't be there 24/7 for the rest of their life to help support them. Nobody can do that. No organization can do that. To be able to teach self-reliance, strong character, and a foundation to propel you into your own self-motivation and future is really the best way forward, because not only does that maintain kind of our operational value, but it helps the person themselves achieve dignity and respect and their own ability to work for something, and when they earn it, when they've worked for it, when they have developed those intrinsic skills, it is really, really life changing. It establishes a new foundation that they can build off of and have their own success, and even lead their own charities or work programs to help others achieve it too.
Sure. Well, it definitely, makes a lot of sense what you're doing. Again, this is something kind of teens, young adults are kind of my wheelhouse as far as that's concerned. And I really try to emphasize, because I coach a couple tennis teams, a guys and a girls, do some substitute teaching, actually coached and taught in 3 different states. I'm here in Pennsylvania right now. And anyway, it just, I'm a big, big believer in the idea that people, develop that work ethic, develop those people skills. There's way too much going on as far as unlimited time, whether it's gaming or social media. And, the technology's here. We have to understand it. We have to use it. But I really try to encourage people to use it, productively, so
Yes.
that you're, actually, not using it. It becomes, a huge time waster or whatever. Because again, I try to come by. I use Newton's laws of motion. Body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. Same thing with inertia. If you're not moving, if you're just lounging around all the time, you're not developing that a bias toward action. And I
Yeah.
really, really think you guys are doing a great job there with a lot of people, for sure. What other tips and ideas, Matt, would you give to teens and young adults, going forward here?
I think there was two. If I was to go back to my teenage self, which I'm approaching, I'm going to be 32 in a couple months. Um, the way that my life has turned out, a lot of the successes and advances, and really what makes my heart full, which is my family and my ability to operate within my passion and serve my community in a way that's meaningful to me. Those all have come out of that foundation that College of the Ozarks helped establish in me. And I encourage anyone that is looking, it doesn't even have to be college, but looking at a program that is going to advance their life,
Mhm.
propel them, and give them a strong foundation for success. It needs to start within. It starts with internal victory. And that happens with a program that challenges you. And it will hurt a little bit, but the ethics and foundation and character that's developed while you're in the middle of it,
Mhm.
you may not recognize the value at the time, but it will plant seeds that will produce growth. I'm experiencing the fruit now, and if I was to go back to myself, thinking about college, in high school, working those things out in my head, um, I would have said, just encourage, just stay with the program.
Mhm.
Don't drop out, don't give up. It will be hard. It will, but there are very few things that come that are worthwhile and valuable that didn't come because they were easy. It comes through a lot of hard work.
Sure, sure. And ironically, there's certain sayings that I like, and you just made me think of one. They say there's only two pains in this world. One is the pain of self-discipline, in other words, pushing yourself, keeping on, perseverance, that type of thing, or much more painful, the pain of regret. Okay, for
Yeah.
not becoming all that we can become. So yes, there is the pain it's a challenge. We got to push ourselves with that self-discipline. That's one of the pains, but that's actually a good pain compared to, the regret of, missing opportunities, missing chances because we didn't exercise that pain of short-term pain of self-discipline. Short-term pain, long-term gain is a good philosophy to, practice there. Any last thoughts, Matt, before we kind of wrap it up here? How about if people want to get in touch with you, how would they do it? What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, if someone wants to reach out to me directly, I'll give out my email address. It's Matt, MATT.farmer, FARMER .mo, Mo for Missouri. So matt.farmer.mo@gmail.com. And so you can reach me directly there. Or if you're in the Midwest, Southwest Missouri area, come visit the coffee shop. Love to see you there and serve you there. That's at vintagepariscoffeeshop.com. Otherwise, I'm sure comments on the video or emails out to Tim, he can connect to me and we can go from there.
Well, this has been fantastic, Matt. I very, very much appreciate your time. Just a final reminder, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Playing It Forward Coaching, where you'll hear good people like Matt and many, many others that, talking about the work ethic, the people skills, the going above and beyond, getting a particular skill. And a number of these individuals are just tremendous models. And Matt, I really salute you and all you've done. You're extremely young man and is actively involved in your community as you are. It's very, very much applaudable. So I do appreciate it very much. If you can just stick around for just a little bit, I'm going to cut the recording off here in just a second. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.